Hey, my name is Prido, and this is my Get to Know on Pi Radio. So with the music, yeah, like it's a funny one because I'm like Christian, so I used to go to church all the time. So obviously in church we used to sing. So that love for singing was somewhere embedded in my system. So anyway, later on when I get to college, by then I was a dancer and I used to like break dancing, you know, that type of stuff. So yeah, there was like a talent show at my college. So I went in to do the dancing stuff here. I was pretty good, but one of my friends was a DJ. He was meant to do like a show with this boy, but his boy didn't turn up. And he said, "Oh, you're a black guy. You shouldn't be able to do this." You know. So I just jumped in and yeah, I don't know what I even said on the mic, but we just done something and the reception was really crazy, like everyone was going off. So from that point, I just felt like, oh, that feeling of you just being on the mic saying stuff to people and them reacting in that way felt pretty good. So I think from then it just grew. So Prido is an artist based in Manchester, originally from Zambia, Africa. I'm a person who's trying to bridge the gap between Zambia and Africa and just the whole music scene. So I try and just fuse and blend everything that has inspired me from being like living in Zambia and living in the UK as well. So I'm just somebody that's trying to bridge the gaps in culture. I came over from Zambia like when I was about 10, 11 there. So I've been here for a minute now. Yeah. My genre of music is a weird one because obviously when I've moved to the UK, I've got introduced to grime and I've fallen in love with grime. Then obviously later on, I've remembered my Afro roots, so it's more of like a sound that sort of incorporates grime and Afrobeats together. So it's a fusion basically, but there's a difference as well because I'm from Zambia, which is Central Africa. The sounds are not really sort of predominantly West African Afrobeats. There's a Southern African element to it, so the strings sound a little bit different to what you'd get in like a popular Afrobeats from West Africa, like from Nigeria or Ghana and stuff like that. So it's basically a fusion of Southern African sounds with like urban UK sounds. It's always different, like it depends on the beat really. If I'm in the studio with one of my producers, like there's a guy called Yusuf Malim, shout out Yusuf, he's another sick producer from Manchester. We will sort of just riff in the studio, then he will just make like a sample to something that could spark an idea, and I just go off that depending on how I'm feeling. So certain songs can take like let's say 2 hours and it's all boxed and done. Certain songs, if I feel like it's more of like a spiritual thing, I'll try and take my time with it, like write and then rewrite until I find something that really matches with the beat. So it's honestly, it's not too complicated. If I'm feeling the song, we'll just do it quick. If I feel like it's an important song, I just take my time with it and just, you know, revise it until I find the final product. Yeah, there's a lot. Like I would say Kano's a big one for me, in just a sense that his bit selection was a little bit different. Like we knew he was a grime artist, but when you listen to his 80% of his beats, they didn't sound grime like that. So it felt like it's something that his music to me anyway, felt like it was something that could cross over. Like people can listen to it in the UK, then people could still understand it in Africa. So he sort of influenced me in terms of like having that sort of eye and ear for things that are not just predominantly the typical sound that's in the country. So him and then I would say Lil Wayne as well, because he was just crazy at the time. I think he was a Drake of that time, so everyone was influenced by him. But yeah, oh, another one was Burna Boy as well. Let me shout out Burna Boy. Burna Boy was one of the people that sort of got me into mainstream Afrobeats, because I'm not gonna lie, at one point I was not a fan of Afrobeats. I was just like, what is this, man? Like, it didn't, because obviously everyone was trying to be American at the time, so just the whole Afro sound just didn't resonate with me. But obviously hearing Burna Boy and his take on it, it felt a bit modern. It didn't feel like old school, if you know what I'm saying. So I feel like, yeah, them three were. You know, there's been quite a lot, I forget these, but I do get every so often like people that just message me and send me voice notes telling me what my music has done for them, or how it's made them go through a certain bad patch of their lives, and obviously that makes me feel good. I think the other one was, it happened recently as well. I was booked to go and perform in Spain, and to me that was like the first international gig that I got in it. So that was like a real buzz moment for me. Just the fact of I was getting on a plane to do music, obviously, like, because my mum was, you know how African mums are, she was just like, what are you doing, wasting your time with this music stuff? So that made me feel like, you know what, I'm getting where I need to get, you know. So it was a proud moment for me. But there's way other more, but I think these two are the ones that I can think of right now. But yeah. I think the most challenging part of being a musician in the UK, or just anywhere, is basically people look at it like it's a hobby. So they'll ask you to do things and obviously not pay you for it, because they think, oh, it's just a hobby. But then not knowing that you have to have money to pay for studio, pay for this, pay for that. So I think it's a financial part of it that's quite draining for it. And obviously, like, I've been doing music for a while now, having that sort of encouragement to myself, saying like, you just gotta keep, this is what you want to do, this is you, so you just keep going, do it for the love. I think it's just that motivation. Sometimes it can be challenging, especially when you see certain people that have just maybe, let's say, come out from nowhere, and then boom, they're like a huge thing in it. So seeing that, like, any human being gets this moments where you're like, is this meant for me? But then again, obviously, you just have to get over that hurdle and just keep going, because everyone has their own time in it, you know. But yeah. In terms of projects that I worked on, I'd say one that I can think of right now is a project that I've done with Toby Samola, another artist from Manchester, Roku 145 as well. These are two guys that are from Manchester. We've done a song called Non-Stop, and it was so organic because we didn't even think we were gonna do the song. We just met up. Toby started making the beat. Roku started making some sort of melodies on there. Then obviously I came with the verses, and the song just went crazy. Like, we put it out, and it got picked up by One Extra, became like track of the week, and it just made me, it was just so organic. Like, there wasn't any forced thing about it. It was just like, right, we vibe with each other, let's create some art, let's just put it out, see what it does, and it just went crazy. So I'd say that is something that I'm proud of. I'd say it's a project that I'm really proud of. Gamily is like, Gamily, I don't know if you can see that, but Gamily is basically gang and family together. So the way I look at it is, people's outlook or people's viewpoint of certain things could be different to what it is. So for example, like, if somebody came in, they'll say, oh, there was a gang in that building, Another person could come in and say, oh, there was a family in there. So I've just put them two together, gang and family. So what that just means is, like, you don't have to be, you can be my family, you can be blood related, not blood related, but as long as we vibe together, we are gamily, because we can be a gang, we can be family, it's the same thing. So that's what that means. It just promotes unity, basically. Yeah, I would say the artists I'd want to collaborate with right as of this moment, I feel like Kendrick Lamar is a big one that I would want to do. I feel like just his perspective on art and just how he brings his art out isn't biased. Like, he just speaks his truth the way he sees it. A lot of people at his stage, they'll look at it like, right, okay, I'm too big now, so I have to be very wary of certain topics that I speak about because I might offend this, that. He just doesn't. I just feel like he just puts it out how he feels. And then obviously his visuals as well, like he likes to tell a story that you have to decipher. And I feel like that's quite good for the listeners and the viewers, because it's not all, you know, like when you look at a trailer, then the trailer has all the information in the trailer. By the time you see the film, it's like, I already know about the film, but he's quite different. Like, you have to dissect each scene because it means something. So I would want to work with him because I feel like he inspires me in that sense. Like, if you look at my videos now, they might look simple, but there's so many like hidden bits that, you know. Yeah, so the most recent one is my new one called Troptronic. Shout out to Yusuf Malim as well for making the beat for that one. Yeah, so with that track, the track basically talks about, it's more of like a political track. Like, there's so much politics in it. It speaks about how a lot of leaders have one foot in, one foot out. So they'll tell you, don't do that, and then they'll do it behind the scenes, and then they'll make loads of money from it. But if you try and do it 1% of that, you get time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's more of me recognizing, right, like the game is not fair, like in the UK basically. Like, certain people get away with certain crimes and certain people don't get away with certain crimes. There's a lot of crime in deprived areas because there's no funding in those areas, because the government saying, oh, there's no money for this, there's no money for that, but at the same time there's money to fund wars and there's money, do you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to create a track that would sort of speak that message, but not make it so blatant. Do you know what I'm saying? So I linked up with U Films, and we sort of drafted an idea of how can we put across that message without it being too aggressive. So we shot it, and we shot it in Uncut Studios. Shout out to Uncut Studios. And the scene around it was basically, I played this politician with blood on my hands, and the public was played by like a ballet dancer. So with the ballet dancer, obviously they sort of, you look at ballet dance and think of innocence and peace, and do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what the public is. The public doesn't know what's really happening behind closed doors. They just think, oh no, our prime minister's looking after us, but not knowing like those guys are just, you know, killing the public. So yeah, I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, go see that. It's basically a deeper story than what I mixed to. Yeah, so the way I stay balanced in the industry as it's ever changing, I feel like it's more of having that reminder that you have to evolve as well. You can't stay stagnant in one genre that you do. So for me, the way I do it, like, I'll listen to what's current, then I'll take elements from that I like, and then I'll maybe 20% infuse that into my new music, and I feel like that normally works. Like, my last track was my last track called Push. It was more of like an Afro Amapiano kind of a track, and it was received well, even though I incorporated a bit of like grime rap in it and a bit of Afrobeats. So yeah, that's just how I do it. Like, I just have to try and, I'm a musician, it's a business, I have to think of things in that sense. So I'll try and maybe push a little bit to add more things that, I don't want to say the word trendy, but things that are resonating with everyone at the moment, because I'll be dumb to say, right, I know everyone wants to hear that, but I'm gonna give you this. Like, I have to try and find like maybe a 20% to bridge the gap a little bit. So that's what I do, yeah. I'll just give you like 10% of it so you can look to my way, and by the time you realize it's too late, you already listened to my stuff. It was so surprising because I was thinking, I don't know, because obviously they don't speak, well, some speak English, but you know what I'm saying, it's a Spanish country. So I was thinking, I don't know how they're gonna get it. And obviously some of the songs that I'm performing have got mad UK slang on them, so I don't know if they're gonna, but the reception was crazy. Like they were just giving me mad energy whilst I was on stage. The only thing was though, certain catchphrases that we say in the UK, they did not get, like this, there's one bit when I was like, Oli, 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 you say, and then obviously everyone knows what to say back, and they were just repeating the same thing. So I said, Oli, 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 and then they say, Oli, Oli, Oli. I'm saying, no, you meant to say. So obviously little bits like that was funny, but it was a good experience, man. They really vibed. Like I would go back again and yeah, do a show there.
When you give me
But the message that I'm always trying to push out in my music is about just being positive. I feel like there's a lot of negative stuff happening in the world, so if we focus on just saying that negative information constantly, we're not changing anything. So I try and encourage people to try and look at the positive side of things, and I feel like by doing that you add more favor to your life. Like there will be more positive things happening because you've got a positive outlook rather than noticing the negative, because nobody's saying there's no negative stuff. There's 100% negative stuff, but you just have to train your brain to try and look at that perspective, and I just try and be real with it. Like I don't say things that are crazy. Like I don't try and brag about things that I don't even have. I try and keep it truthful, like speak about the struggles that I'm having and, you know, just the real stuff. I try and stay away from all that. Yeah, I got money, I got that, because I don't have it. I need some. In terms of like habits or rituals that I used to do before jumping on stage, I used to like drink, innit? Like every other artist, you backstage, you drinking and you doing all that stuff. But I'll say in the last year, I don't do any of that because I've watched a few videos back of me on stage whilst I've had a drink and it's not the best. So now I'm like, now I'll drink after the show. So I'm more of, yeah, I'm honestly, I'm just chilled, man. I just try and remember what I'm gonna say on stage and you know, just not get sidetracked and not get too gassed. And I just like to keep myself humble, you know, and just try and be the best version of me as I can on stage. Yeah, so obviously since I've done my show in Spain, I've been so inspired to doing things abroad as well. Like obviously when you go away out of England, you realize how big the world is and you see how much you can do out there. So I've been doing a lot of collabs with international artists, and we're just planning some shows here and there. So I don't want to say too much, but this year it's like more music for me and more international shows as well, like even local shows as well. But I want to sort of, you know, start branching out as well there. But yeah, I feel like I've found who I'm meant to be. Like I've found the type of lane that I'm in, what type of artist I want to be, and now it's time for me to just bring my game to 100% and just give you the best of what I can give. So I feel like this year I'm like, yeah, I'm focused, and I've also got a lot of help as well, and I've got a lot of people like that are sort of encouraging and mentoring me and backing me in terms of my projects. Like I'm working with Factory International as well, so they're also trying to push me, and you know, and other companies as well. But yes, 2024 is gonna be great, man. Just remember that. Yeah. Things that I do that people might not know outside the music. There's quite a few, you know, like I do graphic design on the side as well, maybe, but then again, that's not too shocking, is it? I read minds, so like if I'm speaking to people that I've never met before, I can tell them stuff about them that they did not know. But it's a bit weird because no one else ever accepts what I've said. They deny it, but in fact, I do read minds, you know, like I'm pretty crazy at that. But yeah, so next time we meet, I'm gonna, you know, give you a little taste of that. Do you know what it is? Yeah, Afrobeats, for me, I feel like it's done wonders by bridging that gap of people looking at Africa on a global scale, like, and respecting the sound coming from it. Because I feel like before, Afrobeats just stayed in Africa and maybe like a little few dots around the world, but I feel like they've sort of pushed it to the majority of the world. So I feel like I'm always gonna have a love for them anyway. Amapiano, I love Amapiano. Amapiano is so sick. Obviously, me being from Zambia, which is sort of closer to South Africa, I resonate with it more. But do you know what? The honest truth with Amapiano for me is I feel like as an artist, not much room for me to be on the song. I feel like the beat is just crazy enough already and me jumping on the song, maybe just 3-4 bars, that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to ruin the song. So I feel from an artist perspective, it's like, it's great, but I feel like I'll ruin the song by being on it. I can't do like a full verse on it, you know, but I feel like it's doing wonders though. Like honestly, I love my piano and I feel like it's just good vibes as well. Like I've never heard an Amapiano song and I feel depressed. It's like, I feel it's just so much positive energy coming from it, and I feel like that's why it's grown so rapid, because it's just feel good music. Like there's not bad thing you can say about it. It's just good vibrations, man. So Amapiano, I feel like it's gonna take over. You don't need to know the language, you just need to feel it. So yeah, man. Yeah, so obviously being an Afro Fusion artist is quite challenging, because obviously I'll have people that will prefer one type of sound to the other. So like if I make like the non-stop track was predominantly Afrobeats, Afro Fusion. So a lot of people from the UK and a lot of people from Africa were vibing with that track. Like every day I was getting, we need to put more songs like that, you need to put more songs. And then I could see another demographic, people that were just not messing with that song at all, because they know me from like Dunya, G-Check, the things that are sounding more grimy than anything. So I feel like I have to normally find a balance. So if you have a look at my releases, it's more like I'll put like a rappy, grimy song, then an Afro song, then a rappy, grimy. So I try and just find it, because I like both in it, so I can't really alienate one from the other, because I feel like that's not me. So honestly, it's just one after the Afro grime. That's how I do it, basically. Yeah. There's one interaction with the fan that had like a lasting impact with me was I was performing at there was a festival on Media City called We Invented the Weekend, and I performed there. Then, like I would say maybe 7 hours later, some old lady stopped me and said, "Oh my days, I saw you performing at Media City, sorry, and your performance was so good, like I resonate with the music. I couldn't understand half of the things you were saying, but I just felt this warm feeling, and I'm now just like a supporter." So that just, for me, I was just like, what? She was like in her 70s. So it just made me know that, you know, sometimes it's not, you know, music is not about what you're saying, it's just, it's a spiritual thing, and like it's what you bring to the song and how people feel when they hear what you're saying. And yeah, I still remember that, because she had no reason to say that to me, and she did. So I'm always just conscious now when I'm making music, like try and be inclusive to as many people as you can. Legacy-wise, I want to be like a pillar to people that are doing music and people that are from different backgrounds that obviously feel like the odds are against them, but they just keep on coming and just being consistent with it. I feel like that's what I want to be. I want to be somebody that's a positive figure and somebody that inspires people to carry on pursuing their dreams no matter what. And I feel like that's what's happened to me. Like I've constantly just been chasing it. And yeah, man, positiveness and you know, just being who you are and you know, bringing the best out of you and being able to inspire people to be good people. Yeah, because that's what we need. We need more of that, more of good people, good vibes, you know, good energies, and yeah, man, that's what I want to do. So you can find me on all social media platforms. It's Northside Prido, or you can just type in Prido. I should be able to pop up anywhere. But yeah, Prido, Prido. If you don't know how to spell that one, but yeah, Prido. Big shouts to Pi Radio as well. Thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing. It's one of the bucket lists as well, so I can now check this off because, you know, we made it, baby.